There she is.
Biofrost using it to great effect. Last time actually had a very nice help picks onto Moon's Gragas follow-up onto Altec kill. So quick fingers on his Lulu to keep the players alive.
Yeah, and I'm really curious as to what FlyQuest's plan was here, because they banned out Karma, which is my go-to answer for a Lulu lane. So maybe we do, as far as being pushed back to game 3, might get something a little bit more interesting from Lemonnation. See what he decides to go into that lane with. They banned out the Ashe instead of following that one up. Moon, again, gets his hands on Rengar, though, which has been very good for the team.
Slow pick in here. FlyQuest taking their time. The Nami actually gets picked up quite early, interestingly enough.
Yeah, so Nami plus Ezreal can be a very potent combination. The sustain is also very nice, but generally I would see like Lulu's take Ignite into a Nami lane and you still have like a lot of kill pressure. And there you go, TSM actually taking away that expected partner. So I do like this answer here from TSM with the double lock-in. Put Hauntzer right back on that split push and set Turtle up here on the Ezreal to combat FlyQuest bottom lane. More of the same.
Yeah, 3 games in a row now for FlyQuest. Balls on Rumble. He's starting to get back into the swing of things on a favorite champion of his. He's actually putting up some pretty good play.
Definitely true, and some very close fights for him. The analyst test went over. Multiple instances where he just barely can't kill Hauntzer.
Yeah, those are so unfortunate because then you're like, I have enough damage. Next time I'll play it right. And then again, a sliver of health puts you down, and then Hauntzer's 5-0 and going crazy. Elise, Gragas, Talon, and what have you, TSM. What is the last man coming in here?
Yeah, Svenskeren getting whittled down pretty heavily here in the second round of the phase, and that's what happens when you don't answer all of the roles previously picked. More bans aimed at high from TSM side, but this time around, they're not really doubling up on mid lane bans, and he should remain flexible with the last pick. That's one of the big advantages of red side. You get the guaranteed last pick for a possible counter there. I would definitely expect FlyQuest to lock in an AD carry, not these AD carries.
I feel like he doesn't have Lulu. He's definitely not going to pick Vayne if he didn't pick Kog'Maw last time.
Comes out to the Syndra.
Yeah, nicely done. Hopefully zero somebody out that didn't get the wild growth, so you're going to be mostly picking up a kill if he does well in the fight. Bjergsen loving the Vlad.
Yeah, you can definitely tell what these teams have been practicing previously in scrim.
This is true.
Same exact priority.
Going back to everything here. Svenskeren making some plays. I mean, the Gragas is still alive and well. No, he's not. I'm a liar. He's going to be going to the Lee Sin. Shame.
All right. Oh, there we go. Some variation here. Yeah. Because the Elise and Gragas are banned out, we're going to see Svenskeren back on the Lee Sin. He has had some super highlights on this champion at various points in his career, as well as the Vladimir eventually coming through.
I like this. Without that Lulu, without quite a bit of protection, they let Altec say, what do you want to play against here? Because you've got some things that may be in your face. It's going to be a Varus. It's going to be the back line for him, but also now those auto attacks. So we'll see how FlyQuest plays this composition. Syndra was something that was banned out last game. We'll see how that affects this one coming back in. Pretty good effect first game.
And this is why I was such a big fan of that early second round lock-in of the Ezreal for TSM. You steal it away from the Nami lane. You kind of put Altec into a position where he's on one of the less mobile AD carries. Perfect for Vladimir diving later on in the game. Life gets very hard for, honestly, both Syndra and Vladimir, Syndra and Varus, if the Vladimir gets off to a halfway decent start.
TSM with Fox, P1, and TL to end out the split. P1 is there at 3rd place right now. They can have this win go their way. They climb up the standings a little bit nicer, and then they can get their wins. We'll have to see what happens in this one. FlyQuest looking at CLG, Immortals, and Envy after this. So both teams have their work cut out for them. You don't need that pen.
Yeah, FlyQuest looking to put a stop to their slide in the standings and secure themselves a more comfortable playoff position.
TSM win with the hashtag. You know how to do it. Hashtag FlyWin as we get into our third game. Yell at your monitor. Chant as well. We can hear you. And we are getting into game. Everybody is super ready for this one. We will see if TSM will repeat history or FlyQuest can shut down the third game win in a series for TSM once and for all.
Yeah, definitely been happy about this matchup so far. Let's take a look here, as it looks like we may have one of those patented Raptor defenses being set up.
Well, if it's patented, then they can't do it. They'll have to change it up.
Who's got the patent? Not FlyQuest, apparently.
No rights to that one just yet.
Turtle gets in with the first deep ward of the game. If they didn't know that Moon was on this side looking for a Raptor start already, well, they will feel pretty sure about it. So early information advantage here over to TSM. The aggressive wards. None from FlyQuest.
It's one thing I always take notice of as well is how many players in a game get a champion all 3 times, right? Bjergsen is probably feeling quite comfortable coming to this game now, having played that Vladimir over and over. Same with Hauntzer, same with Balls on the Rumble.
All right, good. I'm glad everyone is comfortable. Are you comfortable, Riv?
Yeah.
Because this is our second cast of the same week, too.
2 more games. Maybe I'll be comfortable. Let's get a 5-game series here.
I have that effect on people sometimes.
That vote definitely making TSM fans feel good right now.
Ah, I thought they were cheering for that Thunderlord's proc. That was sick.
I could have missed that. I could have missed that one. You're right. Throwing glitter around, being aggressive, lighting things up. It looks like Turtle's going to stand on the front line here and make sure those Mystic shots are tagging.
Perfect CS for Turtle so far. 6 for 6.
Look at that.
Altec still hasn't dropped one.
Gotta watch out how close they get to the turret. How do you know he hasn't dropped one? We're not in the lane anymore.
Well, the camera's not on it. But at the time that I said it, he had not dropped any melees, and none of the ranged ones had died. So I was correct.
Oh!
Since then, he's been forced under his turret, and good zoning here from Turtle and Biofrost. Make him drop some.
You get a little bit of life. Quite early, actually, going in. 3 minutes is when you expect to see the jungler. So Biofrost uses this time to 30. He's probably still farming. I get a ward deep, and TSM can play a bit more aggressive.
Yep, both of the lanes that are pushed up, that is Balls on the top side, Biofrost on the bottom side, go to get those wards on the junglers. And Moon actually did that red quadrant clear that we're seeing, where you go back right afterwards, and he's coming down the lane. See if he heads up to the top side, because Svenskeren might beat him there. Ball's getting baited in here.
Oh, down to 200 HP. Baited in is the word for that one. And first blood going over to Svenskeren and the Lee Sin.
Let's see what Moon is up to here. Sven did not take a lot of damage in that skirmish, but Moon has red buff. He'd have to finish this kill pretty quickly.
He has to wait. Just waiting. Silent.
Oh,
goes out, flash over the wall. Looks like he's going to try and take the
They're collapsing right now.
The ward's still there. Grabs it. Camille first, but he is also pinched by Balls on the top side. Balls teleported in to have a fresh HP bar here. And it looks like they're not going to be able to get much out of a lane or out of that pressure. So, flash from Svenskeren, blue buff to Moon.
Payment.
Yeah.
Takes down the top laner.
Never mind. Ha-ha! Ignite fight bot lane. Autos from the ADCs. Biofrost faces it out. It's going to be Lemonnation. Polymorph down. The auto attacks coming in. Oh, he's just pouring cups of water over Biofrost. You can't kill him.
Oh, shit. Biofrost able to survive, and TSM with the slick double on the FlyQuest bottom lane here. All in. They get to shove the lane into the turret. Things very quickly going TSM's favor here in game number 3.
Let's see how this happens.
Starts out with a Thunderlord's proc. WildTurtle was also able to land that Mystic shot, and man, just able to take him out there.
I love that point in the fight when it just hits off the knife's edge and everybody flashes just to get the ability in when you might not have had to flash, but whatever. It goes with the abilities at the time. A lot of aggression to start things off. 3-0, almost a kill a minute here to start things off for Team Solomid in Game 3.
All right, see if Balls can fight his way back from this one. Definitely not unrecoverable yet. He still has set up pretty well. That mana crystal not going to do a whole lot for the combat effectiveness, but they're going all in on high.
Wham, bam, thank you, man. Crimson Rush in, there's the hit. Sonic Wave missed, but it's not going to matter. That was a zoning Sonic Wave. And they come up with a kill on high. Double Summoner Burn as well on both mid laners.
Ooh, tempo here for TSM. The bottom lane kills open up Biofrost to roam mid along with a jungle gank from Svenskeren. And they are just keeping the pace of this game at 10. Well, it's at 4 right now.
True. They can still turn it up, though. The possibilities are endless.
All right, well, Moon heading to the bottom side. No camps are available, so either going for Scuttle Crab or looking to lay some vision down. As the FlyQuest bottom lane are shoving into lane.
Yep.
I want to set up some sort of counter here. Getting a little bit of advance warning.
Pop himself over the wall.
Feel more confident doing that when the enemy bottom lane is pushed under there with a bunch of minions. Here comes Svenskeren though. Down through his own jungle. Expecting his Krugs to be there. Moon being chased out. Ultimate burn.
There's a roam from high, though. Just make sure there's no chase coming into Moon. And he's perfectly fine to go ahead and scuttle. They still have vision on him, though, so TSM very privy to what's happening here on the side of Fly. Doesn't look like Svenskeren's going to work anything off that. Clears his Krugs. He will back. Gets spended for himself, so he can come back with the Coalfields and his trackers.
Yeah, a defensive first ultimate from Rengar does make things more complicated for Moon trying to accelerate this one. He could still go for a gank through lane and wrap into these brush on the top lane side, because Rumble's one of those guys that will quickly push up the lane but then retreat back. And Rengar can be a very viable counter ganker or just lane ganker from that side brush, because top laners would generally be in range for those jumps. Might want to get red buff first. We shall see.
Be a good time to hit Hauntzer. Teleport is down. Scryer's Bloom in the bot side as more deep wards coming from Biofrost, making sure they have eyes on Moon whenever they can find him. Also having those wards on the bot side tell you where he is, or is not, I should say. So you can kind of defer where that's happening and play safe in a certain lane. Once again, pushed up under the turret. Lemonnation just providing sustained support here as Altec tries to keep up with CS, and not doing too bad of a job here as he was forced onto Varus this game.
Yep. Moon just continuing to farm and waiting for his ultimate to come back up before going for a play. High does now have level 6, but he would want some more mana to work with if they were to try and create there. So he's going back for a recall first.
Yep. Also very close to Ignites coming up. Right, he probably doesn't want to meet Bjergsen at this point with that, unless he is also full on mana, like you said.
So much deep warding here from TSM all over this bottom side. So that means they should be able to tell Hauntzer that Moon, since he's not on bottom side, all these question mark pings, he's probably on the top side. And even though he is kind of going for a top side gank here, you know, his ultimate is available again. TSM are very well aware.
Yep.
Hauntzer's playing back, letting him push. Sven's getting the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, they have to assume that he's up there now with a move. Balls just made, being safe, trying to get more vision out. You can see how safe Hauntzer is playing. He sniffs it out. He's going to go ahead and say, maybe you wait. Actually, he sees a big push by Balls on the wave and says, I have to stay for this. That's made.
How antsy do you get, though? One of the biggest problems that I see from a lot of people is once you commit so much, you know, you waste a lot of time up on the top side. You pink ward down there. Sometimes we'll see people force dives and get them turned around. Well, right now, though,
they just caught Bjergsen in mid, so. Would you go, Kobe?
I would not go.
Well, that's what makes us different.
Ah, and he's gone.
So no chance from that one. Just waiting, but Hauntzer still keeping everything safe. It may look safe, and he knows not to go too far from the turret. Instantly finds Rumble when he does. Probably pretty happy with himself at this point for that move. Things slowed down here. Remember, that was just about 5 minutes when we saw the first 3 kills coming in, and then we had 1 over the next 5 now. So
with that ward's dying breath. Moon. Luckily for Moon, though, he as well is alerted.
Turtle still being quite aggressive. The Sheen is there, but they're stacking the call. And Altec coming out with the BF sword isn't really able to trade back here with the amount of poke that's coming out of Biofrost, Glitter Lance, and Mystic Shots. Now, like you said, Kobe, with that lane pressured, they keep having the opportunity to get inside FlyQuest jungle.
Yeah.
See how much trouble they can cause.
Jungle is a hot spot for Rumble Ultimates. Top laners could join.
Chain of Corruption coming into very nice Bola. Looks like Biofrost makes it out alive. Wild Growth did just come up. He's going to use it on himself. Moon gets kicked back by the Dragon's Rage. As high as now in the ultimatum. He will scatter. It doesn't look like he's going to make it out of this one alive. He does drop Hauntzer, though, for his work. And now it's Balls trying to turn this one out. Expects to flash out, bait more members in. Lemmonnation's the one to try and reinitiate this fight. And Moon will follow behind him quite quickly.
Pretty good stuff, but in the end, TSM has control of the minion waves after. And even though the kills are traded over, a small advantage there for the pushes. Blue buff was actually never taken after being the instigator of all this. See if Hai actually finally will get his hands on that. Pretty big that Hai doesn't have summoners anymore, though, for Syndra. Syndra's definitely a vulnerable target there. And he's going to have to be careful because there's also no vision for him to play safe with. Taking a look at how it all started out there. Moon gets up to the full stacks on Rengar before going for his jump bola, setting up Altec's ult into the Lemonnation ult. The rotation from Hai is what's interesting because Hauntzer's able to go right over that wall. Yeah. And even though he comes back, the thing is, you need to be able to get out your damage as you're going down, and that sets it up for a trade kill.
You go down fighting. Everything you got, throw it on the table.
Yeah, big difference in this game and last game is the kills not going over to Hauntzer when he gets his teleports. And Balls does have a pretty decent CS lead as well. Just building a bunch of early armor here with the Seekers and the Ninja Tabby.
Definitely up Altec stay alive. TSM getting that Lulu pick again. Meaning if Hauntzer did go off, him and Bjergsen would be right back on that back line to take it down. FlyQuest still looking for an opening here. Game really not in too much of anybody's favor just yet. The kills could make it work, though. 2 of those are on Biofrost.
Balls has to be a little bit careful because even though he's got a lot of armor, Camille does a decent amount of true damage. The second activation of her Q converting her Sheen into true damage as well. And then her ultimate. Junglers attracted to the top side. It's funny how these control wards, each of them claiming one brush. Will he be able to outrun this Rengar ult?
Really great equalizer.
Oh!
Well, he's going to get to the brush, right? And that's going to make it hurt even more because that gives Moon the distance. He's able to type out the flash, though. Make sure they know that's down. Hai. So a little too quiet here in mid lane if all that action's going on the top side. Pulls back as TSM moves accordingly to drop mid turret. Tidal wave goes out. Bjergsen gets separated from the team here. Now forces against 3 as Emo Plague and pulls himself out to safety. Really just playing the taunting game so they can have control of mid lane.
Oh, that's a taunter. When the enemy is between your turrets diving 1v3 and feeling confident, probably doing more damage to champions than those 3 did to him.
That's true, right? You get 300 across all of them.
Pretty annoying. In the end, TSM do get the turret for themselves. I might have to get a look at the replay. I wasn't paying attention who got the first turret. I know that FlyQuest were rushing that top one there to try and get the bonus gold. TSM also adding the Cloud Drake to their list of riches, though.
It was FlyQuest getting that first turret gold for themselves.
Thank you.
Helping to keep it just a little bit closer. And now a Cloud Drake. TSM. Infernal next. FlyQuest continues to pick up resources in the jungle. A lot of forward ward still here for TSM. They have so much knowledge of what's going on the other side of the map.
Yeah. Currently, this important ward by Hauntzer is letting him know that FlyQuest are invading his territory, so He'll back off and play safe. Just let them steal away this blue. Should be a blue trade, as TSM have a lot of control on the opposite side. That means that Altec has to do the same as Hauntzer and back off accordingly. Biggest story emerging here, 15 minutes into the game. Bjergsen is going to be the one with a lot of power. His Proto Belt is completed. Spiking here with level 11 for Vladimir. He's really transitioning into the phase where he can get the one freeze on the back line. Sven gets locked up.
Oh, no safeguard over to Bjergsen. He was waiting within range. But
can't help him there.
Piled on nicely. There's a chain of corruption. And also Moon's ultimate, so we'll have to see. Dragon's down for now, so this is a great time for Fly to actually be able to use those ults and get something else.
A bit of vision going their way after the kill.
Good push by Balls in that top lane. Like you said before, keeping Hauntzer much more tempered this game. We'll see this bot lane once again. All these wards,
Bubble.
TSM a false sense of security. They had a lot of vision. It doesn't mean it is safe though.
Yeah, good bubble there from Lemonnation to start that all up. Landing his skill shot first, allowing everyone else to chain afterwards. A little bit of gold definitely does help FlyQuest, but they have to be pretty worried about transitioning into setting up these team fights.
Now, what would those look like? Because you miss an equalizer ult, you miss a chain of corruption, you're almost left out to dry.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of the same stories as last time. The cautionary tale we were telling for it is difficult, although you know, can have a very big impact here with all of these skill shot ults from FlyQuest. Sometimes they can flop. So far, they've been having pretty good luck. But Bjergsen all in, boop boop.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's how that works.
That was the cautionary tale we were setting up before. It doesn't have to be a team fight.
Yeah.
And just walk right up to you in lane. And
again, very light crowd control that Bjergsen is going against. No exhaust once again. So he's going to be able to do that damage whenever he can flash in, pool out, have the team follow up. High waits another 10 seconds before coming back. This is where TSM can make so many moves, find you in a cross rotation, or just make sure their waves are in place. You mentioned it before, that's a big difference for something like TSM. Because when they do make these plays, then make more.
Bjergsen actually gets the last hit there. They hand it over to him. Honestly, it's a good decision, just fueling this juggernaut.
Yeah.
Vladimir.
Quite big.
Yep, definitely going to be a problem. Already is a problem. Balls has also problems of his own.
That was pretty sweet. Catching him in the ultimatum mid-air. Now on to Moon, who makes sure he uses W to get out of this one, and he will be able to do so. Alt as well. Hauntzer very, very low safeguard onto him. Potion of Corruption to help him, but he still goes down to the Ignite. Double kill coming in for High here as they do get something back for the troubles in top lane.
2 for 3 in TSM's advantage. Yeah. They do have minions on the turret as well, so they should be able to turn this into an objective and continue the snowballing ahead. FlyQuest have to be a bit careful about provoking them in this. 2v4.
Teleport behind him. The far brush is going to be the play. Chain of Corruption's on the turtle. He should go down immediately. Actually still gets the stun up from Tidal Wave going through him. Bjergsen now the hit. Piercing arrow as he tries to go back for Altec for a hit. With that Q, that transfusion and some damage, it actually goes over to Lemonnation. Double kill coming in from Bjergsen. They're gonna look for another one as they shut down FlyQuest in their own engage.
TSM able to get the last laugh there. I was just gonna say though, the control ward that FlyQuest have in this far up brush on the top side has been there an incredibly long time. That was how Balls got in position at first to create that play, but TSM are able to react in time. Get the extra kills as well as the turret going down in the end.
Just one of those fights you think is coming to an end, but somehow continues to keep going. That was one of those fights, 13-6. FlyQuest looking to get something back, and TSM are somehow continue to turn these plays right back against them.
And a lot of those saves up in the top lane, the safeguard power, a lot of these extra points from Lee Sin, people have been dumping into W for a long time. After maxing Q, rather than going for the E for the marginal extra damage there. And the bigger shields really do pay off.
we have Baron coming up onto the map quite soon. Infernal Drake is going to be that next priority, though, and FlyQuest is set up nicely on the bot side. They will get pinched if they wait too long. Starting the fight now, Bjergsen looks in to get for that Evo Plague. Ultimate is almost up for him. He's trying to stay alive, and it is going to be Moon going down first. Svenskeren in onto balls now. They are going to try to fire back onto him. Focus can happen, but it looks like nobody can get enough follow-through damage to take him down. Svenskeren's going to try to do it right now. One swift punch. He takes down balls. They're able to finally get Altec. They were waiting for the abilities to come back up. You see how much perseverance they have to keep going, and they feel comfortable doing so in these long fights.
Yeah, the issues with starting out versus the Vladimir and the lack of CC that you keep on bringing up, it's difficult because of these double invulnerabilities there, and that means TSM get the Baron afterwards.
20 minutes. Woo! It just spawned. 45 seconds after it is brought to life, it is sent back to the void. And how do you even deal with Baroned up minions at 20 minutes when you're already behind? That's a little tough.
I mean, all right, let's take another look at this replay. Bjergsen held on to his pool, waiting for the bola from Moon. Moon was heading into that brush to try and get a jump back to him, but Hauntzer was still there. And that was literally the TSM solo laners 2v5ing for the first 5 seconds of the team fight before the rest of the team showed up, and they were winning that 2v5, technically, until they ran out of their invulnerabilities in TSM. 6-0-5 on Bjergsen on the mid lane of Vladimir. Again, 10 stacks on his ring. Still have yet to see him turn into a Medjay, so really throw that one in their face, but not gonna need it. Hauntzer now is a little bit under attack. Ooh. Feeling pretty good about his chances, though.
The last kick splits Moon in two, and it looks like he's gonna chop balls up. There it is, a double kill coming in. And Hauntzer actually didn't even have that good of an early game, but still, with the little bit he was given throughout roaming around the map with the team, continues to provide results on that Camille.
Now we know who wins between Blade Legs and Flame Cannon Arms. Oh, Bjergsen's going in.
He knew the Tides of Blood would take down high. Now on to Lemonnation. One last. Oh, Crimson Rush definitely would have done it, but he can't get the Q.
I love how everyone got super quiet after that. They're like, Lemon, you may live another day.
And as we head into this replay, welcoming NALCS 2 to a pretty crazy game here, starting off with Svenskeren onto Altec.
Yeah, even though doesn't kick him backwards, doesn't matter. Nobody else around. Sven got that kill. They get the inhibitor, and TSM have made another series comeback here, it looks like. Baron up inside of the base.
A lot of this game was, can FlyQuest now, or a lot of the series here as it goes to 3, is can FlyQuest stop that 9-0 Game 3 victory that TSM is able to pull through always. Here's a chance to do that after losing their inhibitor. They need to stop the bleeding just a little bit, and now they may be able to find some room to get these minions away from their base. That 20-minute Baron by TSM, however, has put a big dent in the FlyQuest base.
FlyQuest still fighting and grab some kills back for themselves, but the deficit they're facing is enormous. Just look at the structures available. TSM have lost only 1 turret, already killed 2 inhibitors. Let's take a look here, though. Balls had a good Rumble ultimate. Altec had a nice little chain there. They're landing all the skill shots. The bubbles from Lemon are landing. Moon's in the back line, taking down most of the members, and only Svenskeren does get out in the end. However, it might be too little too late as they're facing a huge, huge disadvantage here. Now it's into farm mode, though. FlyQuest going to try and keep the minions off of the Nexus turrets.
Almost going to be impossible. It'll definitely be hard once Baron minions start coming in. They're going to have to send Altec to that lane at least to try and get these clears out, because Balls is going to have one hell of a time trying to clear Baroned out minions. Top lane, or I should say bottom lane, a little assistance there from high as Balls tries to get the wave cleared, and FlyQuest once again, just like last game, TSM forcing them into these power and numbers between just a few lanes. TSM's going to be able to start spreading FlyQuest there.
I think they've dodged most of the skill shots into that bush. I think all of them. Surprise attack? Question mark. All right, finally get him out of there. All right, again, FlyQuest are faced with this situation where they've got to make one of the more desperate plays because they're super far behind and time's not working in their favor. So they're looking for a good opportunity to try and just go all in and force a quick team fight that they can try and get over with one way or another before minions take their toll. TSM very patient, just waiting for the minions to come assist.
Yep.
Cornering FlyQuest under their last remaining inhibitor turret.
This is that hectic time as well for FlyQuest. They know exactly what TSM is doing, but
Go time!
almost nothing you can do about it. You have to get the perfect engage. You almost want to be the ones to be able to use your ults second. There's a redemption to go out. Wild growth on Bjergsen so he can get in the middle of the fight. That actually means he may be able to go down if there's focus, but the damage onto Lemonnation, just about half his health bar as Bjergsen comes through with a Crimson Rush. 3v1 now behind the Nexus towards the fountain. Can't even find solace there as High goes down. And TSM is onto the last Nexus turret as they hit up the Nexus. 26 minutes in, TSM continue their Game 3 streak wins to bring that to 10-0, stay first in the NALCS, and TSM take down FlyQuest.
How can they keep getting away with it, Riv? First game, full FlyQuest. Second game, pretty decently close for a while. Third game, all TSM.
Another day at the office, Kobe. It seems as TSM...
Comical how they power up over these series.
TSM moved himself to 13-2 now, as we said, with Fox P1 and TL to come. So looking like more wins on the horizon if they can continue their play, especially if they go 3 games apparently. But FlyQuest as well, showing strong against one of the top teams. The question is, not the question is, but we need to see that goes the full series as well for other teams, because TSM is able to take that control way too much.
Yeah, FlyQuest showed a lot of good things. I think FlyQuest showed enough positive things to be pretty comfortable about being able to get a playoff spot at least. You know, maybe not being able to take down TSM here, but still.
But in a 5-game series.
Quite a few positives. Yeah, meanwhile, TSM, they've got a pretty good stranglehold on that first place spot now, considering T9 just lost earlier today.
That's a great point. Definitely seeing a few of the teams probably not be hit too much by the meta, but just as the season goes on, figured out a little bit more by other teams, dropping a few games that they shouldn't be, and this is when it matters. I love being able to say that towards the end of the season. But it was crazy to see how fast a game like this happens after just a 40-minute game. FlyQuest kind of had their own 20-minute scuffle, then a 40, and then TSM went 20 minutes. So it's almost like you can't even really look at these games and be like, oh yeah, that's how we beat TSM.
I can look at these games and be like, I've seen a lot of Vladimir already, and
that is true.
Painful when you see, you know, the burst damage that he has and the invulnerabilities that he has to rely upon. Definitely going to be something teams are working around on the current patch, and we'll see how they do deal with it.
I feel like
in the coming weeks.
That in itself is kind of a big meta change from what we had in terms of abilities and committing to fights, because now you have wild growth to possibly change your mind or make you not do enough damage. Now you have Pool, more Zanya's coming in, all these things that usually you'd go in and get a kill on the guy after he's crowd controlled. But new things, played at a high level, definitely throws these players off sometimes. Sure, they've seen it before, but when you get the intense game, that second definitely takes a point.
Another strong recovery from TSM in the series, bouncing right back from that blasting in game number 1 and finishing off very strong here. Honors for this game are probably going to go to Bjergsen, by the way, spoiler.
It could definitely be that. Definitely seeing Svenskeren push down to a little bit more, so bringing out the Lee Sin. Good things from TSM. I'm sure the fans are happy. We've got Freak waiting side